Hey, Mike, we're live.
Jake, how's it going? Good to see you
Good.
again.
You know why we're a minute late? Because we had
I do.
to, because we had the 2FA on or MFA on LinkedIn. Nice job setting that up, Mike.
Yeah, trying to set an example here for everybody.
Good.
Actually, Trisha told me to do it, so I did it.
Oh, good. Oh,
It's just kind of not the way this is supposed to go down, but that's the way it went.
so Trisha's the new CISO, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Mike, whatever works. Whatever
Whatever
works.
works.
Whatever works. So it's been a while. You were out for a couple of weeks. I was out for a couple of weeks. How was your time off?
I was out for 1 week actually, and time off was fabulous. I played drums and recorded music and drank a lot of watery beer.
Ooh, watery beer.
Yeah, it's for hydration. How was Greece?
It was good. It was good. Went with the family to Greece. Had a great time. If folks travel internationally, I have lots of tips for you. So if you're going anywhere, let me know. I will tell you that bringing COVID tests with you is key. And that's something I don't think people think about.
You mean
but
test results?
No, I mean tests. No, I mean actually, like you bring you get these tests
that you can self-administer.
That you can self-administer over video with somebody who checks to make sure your results are really your results, and it helps you get back into the US without having to go to a hospital in a foreign country, which is ill-advised because then you're going to a hospital in a foreign country, right?
Yep.
So nothing we should talk about, right? It's all quiet.
Yeah, nothing's going on. Actually, a bunch of things are happening.
What? Like what, Mike?
And one huge thing. So let's see. Let's run down what's happened over the last couple of weeks. Going on today. In fact, I just rebooted one of my systems, and I'll reboot this one in a minute. Microsoft just patched 0-day vulnerability in the print spooler service that people are calling Print Nightmare. There's some speculation that the
By
patch...
the way, wait. I gotta ask, like, where did the name? Did people come up with the name? Where's the name come from?
I don't know.
Nightmare.
I'm thinking somebody in, I don't know, the media, marketing, something like that, came up with a groovy name that everybody could latch onto. Okay, that's who does stuff like that. Come on.
Yeah. All right. Keep going. All right, fine. Keep going.
The patch might not work. So you might want to shut down the print spooler service until this is resolved. And there's lots of guidance out there everywhere. The insurance company is definitely on the ropes over cyber insurance. They're paying out 70% of what they collect in premiums right now, and that's their break-even number. So premiums are going up by a lot, deductibles are rising, and the requirements to demonstrate your security controls have increased if you want insurance, and they are denying insurance to some. So heads up, might want to give us a call to get your security papers in order. Private sector is starting to push back on some of the elements of the cybersecurity executive order. Some are saying, I've been waiting to say that. Some people are saying that the government does not have enough purchase power to drive the changes to supply chain security, and that companies just aren't going to do business with the federal government. We will see.
I mean, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. The Republican National Committee has been hacked. Put a pin in that one. We'll come back to that later. Turns out your car is collecting lots of data on you, and over 200 companies are collecting and monetizing the data. That's not creepy at all. Lots more talk about the vulnerability of the global banking system and how if a couple of key institutions got hit, the effects could be global and last for weeks. But
only global.
Only global. It's not, so like Bezos in space, unaffected. Did you know that we're about to out China for the Exchange server incident a few weeks back?
No.
And so like all this time it's taken to do, the proper attribution to be able to be confident in making a public statement about this. And we're just getting ready to do that. That is going to cause some, what should we say, diplomatic uncomfortableness, I think.
Is uncomfortableness a word?
I guess English is a dynamic language, Jake. As long as you do it within the rules, it'll work. Russia has been brute forcing cloud services used by federal government. And then there's this Kaseya thing.
Kaseya.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you something. I was watching network news this morning, and they were talking about it, and they pronounced it wrong. And I thought to myself,
Well, we
you know
don't know
what?
if they pronounced it. Who what's the right pronunciation?
Well,
Ryuk,
so
Ryuk,
just
Revel, Rebel, are evil. I
no,
mean, these are
no,
made up
no,
names.
no. Kaseya is not a made up name. It is the name of a company.
Okay.
And so uh, I called the 800 number this morning to see how they say it, and
And they said Kaseya.
they say Kaseya.
Oh, good.
They say Kaseya, so you've been saying it right. But for everybody who says it differently, just call the 800 number. I can go off on a whole rant about people pronouncing things wrong when there is a real pronunciation, but we'll do that differently. So speaking of this, so we are actually, it is a big deal. We are doing a panel today at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna in the comments here. I'm gonna put in the link to register. We have more than 200 folks registered. This is going to be a really interesting one because we'll be able to talk about one of the, we helped a company respond to it. We'll be able to talk about that. We're also going to talk about, connections to a few other things. Mike will be there, obviously, but also Elise and Fred and JLP. And it'll be really good. I'll put it in the chat right now. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people signed up. Mike, once you, this is a jaw dropper. It's a big one. What happened?
So Kaseya is a company that produces, among other things, remote management tools for computing infrastructure, mostly Microsoft product management. One of those tools is called VSA, which I think means Virtual System Administration. It's an agent that runs on Microsoft servers that's used for issuing remote commands and I think gaining interactive access to. It's used by a lot of managed IT service providers, which are known as MSPs. So from what I can tell from the best reporting so far, which is a deep dive done by Sophos, hat tip to our buddies across the Canadian border, Kaseya servers were compromised by the Revel, are evil, I don't know, ransomware gang.
They don't have an 800 number. You know what? Next time you
I believe they do have an 800 number.
All right. Well, we should call and ask how they pronounce
it. We could get them on LinkedIn Live with us.
Oh,
and say, look,
great.
How do you pronounce your name? Because
the answer is in Russian.
Okay. So they got access to Kaseya servers. Okay, the gang did, and they used that access to push out malware, which looked like a normal update to a tool that was using normal methods. Okay, so it used the Microsoft Update service. Everything looked fine. You're monitoring the network. You go, oh, that happens all the time. That's nothing. And what they pushed down was a pretty sophisticated piece of malware. And part of the attack chain was to, and this is super interesting, it downloaded an old Microsoft application from years back that is known to be vulnerable and then exploited that to turn off Windows Defenders and start the encryption process. And so, I mean, that's a fascinating story of a sophisticated hack, but here's the upshot. They pushed the malware out to their MSP customers who pushed it out to all their customers who are the actual victims who number in thousands globally. Okay. One MSP in Germany says they have 2,000 customers affected. There's a grocery store chain in Sweden with 800 stores that can't be operated. And that's the story right now.
And that's a lot. That's a jaw dropper. I'm glad it didn't affect my grocery shopping experiences. And it happened on a holiday weekend.
Yep.
So, that's another holiday weekend. Was it the same gang that hit JBS, the meat company, on Memorial Day?
Yep.
Next holiday, Labor Day. I mean, does two make a pattern, Mike?
Well, it is a corollary of the Nyquist sampling theorem that if your sample size is 1, your anticipated error is 100%. Since we have 2 data points now, it's slightly better than that, but not much. I think we need to chalk up a few holidays and find out if this pattern, but certainly makes sense, right? They know what the holiday schedule is in the United States. They know people take time off. They know there are fewer people watching things And that could be the best time to pull something like this. So yeah, I think Labor Day is going to be interesting. Here's a couple other things about this too. This is what the president's EO was about, this continuing abuse of the supply chain. Gangs are doing research into what software can be compromised to hit the greatest number of victims going through a third party. Okay. It used a zero-day exploit, which is usually reserved for espionage, because once used, its value is greatly diminished, right? Everybody knows about it. We'll all get signatures for it. We can detect it now, right? That could be a bad sign of what's to come. Insurance companies are going to bear the brunt of this, and it's going to directly exacerbate the issues with cyber insurance right now. And I know a lot of people are renegotiating their insurance right now, and it's a very painful process. This isn't going to help. But here's the biggest thing I took away from this. This was smash and grab. The ransomware does not seem to have propagated past the server on which it landed. So the damage is really limited to the type of server on which the agent was installed. And, this is from some incident response I helped with on Friday. So again, that's one data point. But, there's other corroborating stuff that makes it look like this was, not the kind of detailed thing where you go in and you get persistence and, look for the good stuff and make sure you can cripple an organization. It's just hit a server, encrypt it. And so a lot of people just restore from backup and moved on.
So I've read that the damage it's not that bad, and that most of the victim organizations are just restoring servers from backup and getting on with life. I've also read that the gang is over their skis and trying to get into the background as quickly as possible. So what's going on here? I mean, Biden just warned Putin. The Revil gang is Russian. Are we looking at, Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, is, saying things about, retaliation? What's going to happen?
Well, I think something's going to happen, but it's tricky. In order to hold Russia responsible, we have to prove not that the gang operates out of Russia, because we know that, but that the Russian government has knowledge of these attacks prior. And that's a much taller order. It's likely that the U.S. is going to go directly after the individuals involved, but retaliatory acts against the country may have to wait until further intelligence comes out. So again, as a comparison, we're just now getting ready to publicly call out China for the exchange attack, and that was months ago, right?
Well, all right. So we're going to talk much more about this at 10 today. We have an hour to talk about it then. There was something you wanted to stick a pin in. What was it?
Oh yeah, the RNC. Okay, so at the same time that the Kaseya global mayhem was going on, the Republican National Committee was compromised. And of course, they're saying they caught it right away, nothing was touched, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think that's true. I also don't think we'll ever find out if information was taken, but it should be clear that the RNC would be an interesting strategic target for any number of countries. For example, knowing what candidates they're pushing regionally will tell Putin whether or not his strategy of turning the U.S. into an authoritarian dictatorship is working.
I'll leave that alone for a second.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Is it possible that the Kaseya thing is more to provide cover for an espionage act? I mean, especially if it doesn't seem to be making money. I mean, the Kaseya thing doesn't seem like it's making money, which is usually what ransomware is about. So why do you think those are connected? What Synex, a reseller of technology products, might have been I saw a report that they were the third party used to compromise the RNC, and that's different from Kaseya. So why do you think there's a connection?
Well, it's still, going through Synex still may have been facilitated by the VSA tool. Okay, we can all speculate on that, but again, I don't think we're ever going to know. Law enforcement is investigating now, and there's no requirement for them to make any findings public. So, we're stuck with speculation for now, but it's awful suspicious.
All right. Well, at the end of all of these, we do a kicker. That's something that's supposed to make people smile. You always fail at that. You don't have anything to make people smile. So maybe you can give us something else that'll
It's
leave
because
people with a sense
it's
of
irony
dread?
that makes me smile. That's
Do
why.
you have a sense of dread you can leave people with?
Yeah. Oh,
What do you got?
So this is an interesting story. So Kaspersky is originally a Russian company, and they make antivirus, right, endpoint security products, and also the Kaspersky Password Manager. So as you know, these products can produce random passwords that you'll never have to remember, and that are stronger than the ones you think up for yourself. So it turns out that the pseudo random number generator in the product uses the current time as its source of entropy. And so what that means is that it was about as random as your clock, and that all the passwords that it created could be brute forced in seconds.
Well, that's not good. That doesn't make it random, now does
It's
it?
a password manager for password security, and it had horrible passwords that were insecure.
That's not funny. That's depressing.
Okay.
You'll have to do better next time.
Hey, I'm the messenger, okay? I don't make this stuff.
Fine. All right, everybody, don't forget to join us. Random is your clock. All right. Well, so everybody, don't forget to join us for the event here that's coming up in about an hour and 13 minutes.
Yep.
The link is in the chat there. If you can't see that chat because you're watching later, shoot me an email, jake@criticalinsight.com. And hey, Mike, we're going to do this again next week. How's that sound?
Yeah, sounds good.
Good. If you said no, then I just have to come to the office and
we'd do it anyway.
We'd do it anyway. Yep. Yep. Yeah, selling Mike Kaspersky stock. Yep. That's what I hear. Is it Kaspersky or Kaspersky? It's
Kaspersky.
Kaspersky, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna have to call their 800 number to get there.
Look at this. Look at me showing you how to pronounce words. That's awesome.
Oh, that's so sweet. All right, everybody. Have a good one.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.